Now in this clip we want to talk about expanding double brackets, but before we do that we need to quickly review expanding single brackets. So you may remember when we did expanding single brackets, which is something you must do before you go into expanding double brackets, is we might have had a question like this: 4 times whatever's inside the bracket. So 4 times x plus 2, which means 4 lots of whatever's inside the bracket. So 4 lots of x plus 2. So x plus 2, x plus 2, x plus 2, and x plus 2. So 4 lots of x plus 2, which obviously the answer was, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 lots of 2 makes it 8, and 4 lots of x is 4x. So the answer was 4x plus 8. We also saw how you could do that by using the grid method. 4 times x was 4x, and then 4 times 2 is 8. If it's positive, it's going to be plus. So the answer is 4x plus 8. The other way some people like to do it is say 4 times x is 4x, and then 4 times plus 2 is plus 8. So those are the different ways of looking at how to expand a single bracket, how to expand single brackets. And the answer was, for that question, 4x plus 8. So in that case, remember it was 4 times everything inside the bracket, so the x plus 2. So 4 times the x, and then the 4 times the plus 2. So that was expanding single brackets. Now looking at expanding double brackets, we can see in the first bracket we've got 3 plus 5, and the second bracket we've got 2 plus 4. So we've got something inside one bracket and something inside another bracket. Now when you have a bracket and another bracket, there is a times sign in between here. So it's a bit like saying this. It's a bit like saying the first bracket times the second bracket. So as you can see, the content of the first bracket I've copied here. So it's 3 and plus 5. And the content of the second bracket is along the side there, 2 and plus 4. So it's a bit like saying the length of the rectangle here is 3 plus 5, and the height, if you like, or the width here is 2 plus 4. And we want to work out the total area of this rectangle. So we can work out the area of the yellow rectangle by saying 2 times 3 is 6. The area of the red rectangle is 2 times 5, which is 10. And the area of the green rectangle is going to be 4 times 3, which is 12. So along there is 3, well, if I you say, so that's 3 and that's 4. So 3 times 4 is 12. And the area of the black rectangle, well, if this is 4 and that is 5, 4 and 5 is 20. So the area of the of the yellow rectangle was 6, the area of the red rectangle was 10, the area of the green rectangle was 12, and the black rectangle was 20. And if I add all the areas, that will give me the area of the entire large rectangle. So 6 add 10 add 12 add 20 is the area of this entire rectangle. So if we do 10 add 20, that's 30, add 12, 30 add 12 is 42, add 6 is 48. So the area of the entire rectangle is 48. But we could have easily done that like this, because 3 add 5 is 8 and 2 add 4 is 6. So 6 times 8 is 48. So the inside of this bracket was 8, and inside of this bracket was 6, and because there's time sign in between, it's 8 times 6, which is 48. This question is actually, it was actually much easier to just say 3 add 5 is 8 and 2 add 4 is 6, so I'm just going to do 8 times 6, which is 48, rather than working out the area of the yellow rectangle, then the green one, then the red one, and the black one, and then adding them together. It would have been just easier to say 8 times 6 is 48. But with a question like this, you can't do that. You're going to have to do it in parts. So as you can see, x plus 5, I've got it here, and x plus 4 is here. So to work out the area of the yellow rectangle, we're going to do x times x, which is x squared. The area of the green rectangle is x times 5, which is 5x. Remember, we write the number first, so we don't write it x5, it's better to write it as 5x. And here 4 times x is 4x, and finally 4 times 5 is 20. So we have in the yellow square with x squared, and in the green square here I have 5x, so it's plus 5x, and then this green square I have another 4x, so it's plus 4x, and then in this blue square we have 20, so plus 20. So the x squared cannot be simplified and the plus 20 cannot be simplified, so we just copy them down, x squared plus 20. But the green square had 4x and 5x. These are like terms, so I've deliberately done it like that. I've deliberately left it in the two green rectangles where we can collect the like terms. The 5x plus 4x are like terms, so if you collect the like terms you get plus 9x, and this is the answer. So when you expand this double bracket, the answer you get is here, x squared plus 9x plus 20. Before I move on, I just want to explain something that some students sometimes struggle with. If you look at the yellow rectangle, we're saying that this length here is x and this length here is x. To work out the area of any rectangle, you have to multiply those two sides, the length times the width. So here x times x is x squared. Now with this green rectangle here on the top, this is 5, so the length here is 5 and the width here is x, so 5 times x is 5x, so 5 times the x is 5x. If we now look at the blue rectangle, we know that this length here is 5 and we know the width here is 4, so 5 times 4 is 20. So remember, the 5 came from along this length here, 5, and the width here was 4, so 5 times 4 is 20. And if we look at this green rectangle now, well, we know this length here is x and the width here is 4, so x times 4 is x4, but we write the number first, so it's 4x. So this x squared, then we add the 5x from there, we add the 4x from here, and then we add the 20, and then we just collect like terms. So there's no like terms here, so we just copy the x squared. That's the only term with the square. And then plus 5x plus 4x is plus 9x, and then plus 20. So with the grid method, I find it keeps the work tidier. Alternatively, I could have said x times everything inside that bracket, so x times x is x squared, x times 4 is 4x, so plus 4x, and then we're going to add 5 times everything inside that bracket, so 5 times x is 5x, and 5 times plus 4 is plus 20. Now because there's a plus sign there, remember we're going to add everything, so we get the x squared plus 4x plus 5x equals to 20, and when you simplify it by collecting like terms, you get x squared plus 9x plus 20. So a neater way to explain that is we've got every term in the first bracket will multiply the terms in the second bracket. So we're going to do x times x, which is x squared, and then x times plus 4 is plus 4x, and then 5 times x, well, plus 5 times x, which is plus 5x, and then plus 5 times plus 4, which is plus 20. And then you just collect the like terms to get x squared plus 9x plus 20. So sometimes students, to remember all those steps, use the FOIL method. So what the FOIL method means, well, the F stands for the first, so you multiply the first terms of each bracket. That's where the F comes from, the first. So you do x times x, which is x squared. Then you do the outers. So to do the outers, the outer one is x and plus 4. So you do x times 4, which is plus 4x. Then you do the inners, which is 5 times x. So plus 5x. And then you do the last, which is 5 and 4. 5 times 4 is 20. And then you just collect the like terms. So people sometimes like to use the FOIL method. Explain the FOIL method one more time. You multiply the first term, so x times x is x squared. Then the outers, so x times plus 4, which is plus 4x. So we've done the first and the outers. Then the inners, which is 5 times x, which is plus 5x. And then you do the last, which is 5 times 4, which is plus 20. 5 times 4 is positive. Answer, which is plus 20. Then just collect the like terms, x squared plus 9x plus 20. So it's up to you which method you prefer. I used to prefer this method, but now I think I prefer the grid method because I find it keeps the work very tidy and it's easy to spot any mistakes as well. I would then like you to try these questions by yourself. I will go through the answers one by one. So do question 1 to 11, 12 to 21, and then 22 to 32, and then I'll go through the answers one by one with you. So once you've answered question 1 to 11, 12 to 21, and 22 to 32, I'll go through the answers with you one by one.